Murderers get put, people who commit homicide get put in jails with violent criminals, and your position is this is a reasonable and rational thing that we should put the people leading the energy companies in America, producing 8.5 million jobs, we should arrest them and throw them in jail. Is that correct? That is a moonbeam wacky theory that you want to prosecute people creating jobs and producing energy for murder. Let me ask you, Mr. Arkush, how did you get to the Capitol today?
So here's what I want to tell you.
How did you get to the Capitol today?
I took an Uber.
You took an Uber.
Yep.
Now, was that in an automobile?
Yes.
Did that automobile have gasoline in it?
Yes. This is very, very key.
What's up, patriots? You have to see this one. Senator Ted Cruz just obliterated a so-called climate justice activist in the Senate hearing. The guy literally wants oil and gas executives prosecuted for climate homicide. Yeah, you heard that right. Homicide. But Cruz wasn't having it, and honestly, neither should any of us.
Definitely, we're not arguing that they could be prosecuted for first-degree murder. That's killing with, intent.
But you want to put them in prison for homicide, lock them up, treat them as criminals, put them in. Murderers get put, people who commit homicide get put in jails with violent criminals, and your position is this is a reasonable and rational thing that we should put the people leading the energy companies in America, producing 8.5 million jobs, we should arrest them and throw them in jail. Is that correct?
It could be the case that some executives should be prosecuted in that way. Of course, you can't put a corporation in jail, so there are other remedies in that situation.
But you can put human beings in jail, and presumably you'd put the corporate officers in jail.
Yes, you can.
You'd prosecute them for murder. So don't let there be any ambiguity. And by the way, Senator Whitehouse was really eager to make clear that you're the minority witness. You're the witness he wanted. He was eager to introduce you. I'm going to go on the record as saying that is a moonbeam wacky theory that you want to prosecute people creating jobs and producing energy for murder. Let me ask you, Mr. Arkush, how did you get to the Capitol today?
So here's what I want to tell you.
How did you get to the Capitol today?
I took an Uber.
You took an Uber.
Yep.
Now, was that in an automobile?
Yes.
Did that automobile have gasoline in it?
Yes. This is very, very cute. I see where this is going.
So I'm glad you think it's cute. Under your theory, you emitted carbon emissions.
Yep.
Should you be arrested in this room right now and prosecuted for murder?
No.
Why?
That's not what the law holds.
So tell me why, because you're willing to say the guy who sold you the gasoline should be prosecuted for murder. You're the one that benefited from it. Couldn't you have ridden a bicycle or maybe like some fairy dust to get here?
The guy who sold the gas and 50 years ago knew that it was going to cause globally catastrophic damage that would cause problems for humanity.
But you have exquisite knowledge of this. You were saying you were an expert. So on mens rea,
I'm not done.
You have a level of culpability because you claim that the act of getting in that car was violence, it was murder, that you should be locked up. Why do you get to violate these principles in a way that you just want to lock up the person who sold you the gas but not the beneficiary of it?
That's your claim, not mine, because to be liable, there are a bunch of reasons, but one of them is you have to substantially contribute to the harm, to the death.
Okay,
and
so
how
many car rides is substantially? Is it one? Is it two? Is it 10? How many?
A single individual couldn't possibly contribute enough. The point is...
Well, what about if, say, you're a Democrat politician who
do you want me to answer
What about if you're a Democrat politician who flies private jets?
It would be helpful if you're asking the questions. Doesn't he get to answer them?
He gets to answer them in my time, just like he gets to answer them in your time when you are asking them.
Seems like I don't get to answer.
So what about Democrat politicians who fly private planes all the time? People like John Kerry, who say, for someone like me, a private jet is the only reasonable way to travel. John Kerry has the climate footprint of a small town in Tennessee. Would you prosecute John Kerry for murder?
So, depending on how you calculate it, U.S. fossil fuel or the oil majors, private oil majors, are responsible for around half of global emissions.
My question was, would you prosecute John Kerry for murder?
Obviously not, no.
Okay, so Democrat politicians are exempted.
There is no individual...
Democrat activists are exempted.
I'm not going after people for carbon footprints. The whole thing is actually...
Well, why not, though? Under your principle, carbon is killing us. You claim it is homicide. By the way, this is a whack job theory. You teach in law school. If one of your law students wrote this on an exam, any law professor.
So here's the deal. This witness, Mr. Arish, is sitting there preaching about how fossil fuel executives should be thrown in jail because their companies cause climate deaths. Meanwhile, guess how he got to the Capitol? An Uber, which runs on gas, which is literally produced by the very industry he wants to destroy. The hypocrisy couldn't be louder if it was running through a megaphone. Ted Cruz called him out perfectly. He said, if carbon emissions are homicide, then anyone who drives a car, heats their home, or takes a flight should also be guilty. Boom. That's logic the left just can't refute. Let's talk about this hypocrisy for a second. These so-called climate warriors want to live in this imaginary world where they get to keep all the benefits of modern life. Transportation, heating, electricity, phones, laptops, but then demonize the very industries that make it all possible. It's the same people who scream climate justice while flying private jets to climate conferences. John Kerry, Al Gore, Hollywood elites. They rack up massive carbon footprints while telling us to give up our trucks and air conditioners. That's not climate justice. That's climate elitism. Ted Cruz brought common sense back into the room. He reminded everyone that you can't criminalize energy. You can't jail people for keeping the lights on, growing the economy, or fueling America's strength. Oil and gas aren't villains. They're the backbone of our freedom, our national security, and our prosperity. If these activists actually cared about people, they'd be pushing for innovation, cleaner energy, better technology, not witch hunts against the men and women who power this country. At the end of the day, this hearing showed exactly what's wrong with the left's climate agenda. It's all emotion, no reason. It's about control, not conservation. They don't want to save the planet. They want to control how you live, what you drive, what you eat, and how you heat your home. Thank God for people like Ted Cruz who are willing to stand up and say, hold on, this is insanity. If we want real progress, it starts with truth. And the truth is that America runs on energy, innovation, and freedom, not hypocrisy. If you're tired of the climate hypocrisy and proud to stand for energy independence, hit that like button, share this video, and drop a US in the comments. This is America. We don't apologize for success, and we sure don't criminalize hardworking Americans for keeping this nation strong.